Yo, good day. It has been a couple of weeks since I've dropped in and said hello, shared a thought, a message with you guys, especially on Father's Fire. So first of all, I've missed you. Sorry I haven't made the time to connect with you guys and share thoughts. It has been a crazy year of travel, and it is not slowing down. In fact, tomorrow, Judy and I head out to Paris to watch our niece, Spiff, and the rest of the women's rugby team, the USA women's rugby team, play in the Paris Olympics. So we're really looking forward to that, and then taking a little bit of time and heading over to Greece to celebrate our 35th wedding anniversary. So it's going to be an epic next couple weeks. But I've been pondering a lot. A post that I saw earlier today by my good friend Sean Hart. If you guys don't know Sean is the visionary and the executive director, the creator of a phenomenal group, the Involved Dad, out of Detroit, Flint area. And he and their organization work extensively with men, with the vision and the goal of improving men and who they are, what kind of man they are, overcoming addiction and anger issues and all those things. They work very closely with men with the sole purpose of affecting and benefiting the family as a whole, because if you can get the men right, a lot of times you can get the family right. And they do a phenomenal job, and I support where I can remotely, and because I love their vision. I love what they're doing in men's life. They have a great team. Melvin is absolutely amazing. You got Trace Fisher, you got Leah, his wife, whole slew of them, and I know I'm missing some, but I really appreciate the work that they've done. And I think Sean created his group in 2015, and slowly, little by little, they have become the go-to source for working with men to help them elevate and become the fathers and the men that they were meant to be. But in today's post, Sean went out on a speaking engagement. He does a lot of speaking engagements where he goes in and does coaching and mentoring and motivational speaking. And his son, little Levi, accompanied him, and he invited Levi on stage. And he asked Levi to share with him his affirmation, his daily affirmation that they have written together. And I love the words of this affirmation. And so I'd like to start with sharing with you the affirmation, and then talk about the power of affirmations in your life as a man, as a husband, as a father. Here is the affirmation that Levi says every single day. I am Levi, says his full name. I am Levi Hart. I am a black man. I am a man of honor, integrity, and respect. I was created by God on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. I prepare myself each day to live victoriously and dominate the day. Let that sit in your heart and in your mind. I mean, think about being a man of honor, of integrity, and respect. And I love that Sean encouraged his son to include in his affirmation that he's a black man. And like it or not, we do have issues in our country with race and color and prejudice. And to define yourself as being proud of who you are. Black, white, Indian, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? To be proud of who you are. I love that. I am a black man, a man of honor, integrity, and respect. I mean, when's the last time that you really thought about being a man of honor? What does that look like? I remember as a young man, my dad was in the Navy, and so everything that my dad did for us kids was to teach us discipline and duty. And my dad, he was in the Navy, so you can imagine that it was very strict, right? Because my dad had this sense of duty and patriotism, and we knew who we were, that we were his son, and that we were a proud son of a Navy corpsman. And my dad wore that uniform with pride, and I always loved seeing my dad in that uniform because it represented something. It represented what he stood for. It represented who he was as a man and who we needed to be as future men. And we were in Scouts, and so in Scouts, they have a Scout promise, they have a Scout law, and every week when I would go to Scouts, I would say the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And those are still, dude, it's been over 30 years, 40 years that I've been in Scouts. So to have something that you say on a regular basis in your heart and in your mind, and you say it out loud, it enforces those values into your heart and helps you build the determination to become that man if you're not. I love that he includes, I was created by God on purpose. I think a lot of times we feel like we're just an accident. That, you know what, we really don't have a purpose. Things just happen. We're just living life. And when we understand that we are God's sons and daughters, all of a sudden it gives us identity. It helps us develop purpose. It helps us see potential within ourselves. So when we can say that I was created by God on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose, what is your purpose? What are the things that you're doing in your family that can help elevate your kids, that can help elevate your wife? So many times I think we struggle in our marriages, in our relationships, is because we lose purpose. We lose identity. We lose intention. And if we can recapture that, then all of a sudden our relationships will heal. They'll become stronger and better. I love that it also says, I prepare myself each day to live victoriously and dominate the day. A lot of us, we allow mistakes of the past, those dark moments, those maybe even dark seasons where we were not at our best. We allow them to cloud and stain our view of who we are and who we can become, because we tend to look at ourselves out of the lens of yesterday. It's like we're looking in the rear view mirror. And when you're looking in the rear view mirror, you have a very small window into yourself, instead of looking forward and seeing a whole panoramic view of who you can become. I had a great conversation with my son a couple years ago, and we were talking about regret and decisions in life. And he said, Dad, you know, I don't have any regrets because the decisions that I made that maybe were not my brightest shining moments, they led me to where I am today. And so now, instead of regretting those decisions, those choices, I'm using them to propel myself forward. So rather than regretting, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming. And I think that if we as men, if you want to become a man that is not addicted to whatever, porn, alcohol, drugs, right? Maybe one of your affirmations needs to be, I'm a man of control. I'm a man who is a master of my destiny. I'm a man who is a master of myself. And I will lean on the God-given talents that I have and tap into those that have not been fully developed and become a man who is a master of himself. Maybe you are a man who has struggled with anger and losing your cool. Maybe you could have an affirmation that said, I'm a man who is gentle. I'm a man who is calm. I'm a man who is resolute in purpose, who talks with kindness and gentleness, whose very words lift up and encourage and elevate. I'm a man that talks in a way that inspires people to be better. It never tears them down. What would happen if you started telling yourself that you were that kind of that man? That kind of dad, that kind of husband. Maybe you've struggled with infidelity and you're still got that player side of you. Maybe you could lean into an affirmation that said, I'm a man who believes in true love. I'm a man who is the guardian of my wife's heart. I'm a man who will stand by her both in the light and in the dark. I'm a man that will protect her honor in the very actions that I take, in the way that I speak to other women. If you could change the dialogue about how you talk to other people, how you talk about yourself, and you started to really believe these affirmations, you could become the man that you're aspiring to be. The problem is often the thing that is going through our mind and our heart are the negative things of the past. Instead of going, you know what, I'm going to break the chains. Yes, I was not at my best in the past, but I'm going to start from today. Like my son said, I'm starting from today. I'm taking the lessons of the past and I'm building forward. And so instead of looking at it as a failure, owning where you are today and moving forward in a direction that affirms who you are and who you can become. And as you start to do that, little by little, you will become the man that you aspire to be. So mad shout out to Sean Hart, who is leading by example, who is showing his son, I think he's 11, at a very young age, that look, you need to develop a set of ideals, a set of characteristics that you are building and growing towards. And you need to every day say, I am this type of man. I am, right? Because I think a lot of times we get trapped in I will become instead of starting to think I am. Because when you start thinking in I am, all of a sudden you are breathing life into that belief and bringing that into reality just by saying who you are today. And as you're acting on that and saying it and repeating it and living it and holding yourself accountable when you weren't at your best and going, you know what, at that moment, I wasn't at my best, but I'm aspiring to do this. And so guess what? Today, I am a man of integrity. I'm a man who is kind and gentle, who is loving, who stands by his wife, who stands by his children, who stands by the people that he's made commitments to. And he talks in a way that elevates and lifts and inspires. Man, we can all do that. The thing is how many of us have started to really think about living in purpose? It's amazing when all of a sudden you start living in purpose, how your mind becomes super focused on those aspects of your life that are the most important things to help you elevate to that point. So anyway, a few thoughts. Thank you, Levi, for your example, for your courage of getting in front of that crowd and sharing your daily affirmation. You said it with such confidence and such conviction. I could feel that you believe it, that it's who you are, and that is the kind of man that I hope my young boys are. Well, they're not so young anymore, but and I see it, right? Because Judy and I, when we were raising our kids, we did things to affirm in our children the value of who they are. In fact, every time they walked out of the house, we would always say, "Who are you?" And remember who you are. And when you remember who you truly are, I think it helps you act in a way that is indicative of the character that maybe you don't truly see, that is in there waiting to be revealed and developed and nurtured. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tapping in. I'm not sure if I will get another message, because as I mentioned, Judy and I are heading to Paris and then Greece, so we're going to be tapped out, enjoying our family and each other for the next couple weeks. So God bless. You guys have a great night. Thanks for tapping in. And as you guys know, please go out to YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all those places. Look for Father's Fire. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll check you same time. Hopefully. Well, it's not Monday, but you get what I mean. So same time, same bad channel, just next week. See ya.